Alrighty, we're live again, I guess. It should be up here. Let's see, why isn't it? Let's see. Is everything working now, or are we still lagging? If we're not lagging, I'm pretty sure I know why it was lagging earlier. Yeah, guys, tell me right now if we're lagging because if we're not, I'm pretty sure I actually know why it was so bad earlier. It looks like from yeah, I think what it was, at least from um, what I was looking at is I actually didn't have my Wi-Fi on my phone. I was literally just from my service, which my service is terrible out here. I forgot why, but I had my Wi-Fi turned off on my phone. I guess because I was coming back from a trip and I never put it back on, and so I think that was why it was so bad. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I was like really confused as to how whatever last stream was happened. I wish I could figure that out in stream. That would have been nice, but I guess that's just kind of how it went. But yeah, so pretty much random birthday live stream. If you missed the first thing earlier, you aren't missing much. I was trying to get a stream up and it was super laggy because I actually forgot to turn my Wi-Fi back on my phone. So yeah, I think that was what happened. But basically, today is my birthday. Today I turn 18, and I just came back from the Bay Area yesterday. Went to some beaches, a nice 2 day trip. Yeah, and now I'm back here. We're gonna be doing some eating and celebrating later with my family. But for right now, I was like, actually, Downhill Adrenaline came up with the idea, or I guess mentioned that he did a stream on his birthday, and I remembered that, and I was like, oh, that'd be a good idea. So that's why I'm doing one now, just kind of out of nowhere, completely random. But yeah, thank you guys for the happy birthday, and yeah. So, like I said, informal live stream. This is not really going to be the same as the ones I was doing before. Like I literally decided I was gonna do this less than an hour ago. So uh, yeah. So I guess what are your guys's? I guess I'll you guys can ask like questions now. I guess I'll open it up with a Q&A. If you guys have anything or anything you want to discuss, also you can mention that here because I'm actually a little behind in the news just because I was out of town. So I know that the SeaWorld projects, pretty much all of them except maybe Aaron Gwazi, are being delayed until 2021, so that's pretty crazy. And then I'm trying to remember. Well, obviously we had the Intamin concepts last week. That was something I covered. Yeah. Have I gotten to ride any coasters this year? I have not. Pretty much nothing's open around me as far as I know in terms of coasters. There might be some places in my hometown that actually their kiddie coasters might be open, but I haven't even ridden them. Um, but no, I haven't ridden like any in 2020. I did actually see a coaster for the first time last year though. I passed by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. I didn't. You could actually go in and walk in there if you wanted to, but I didn't just because it's just like I have like so many memories of like going there with my friends, my family, and it's just I didn't like seeing like the park just like nothing was operating, and it was kind of sad actually. Like most of my trip was pretty good, but like just seeing that was kind of sad. Like I mean, I guess I saw a coaster this year, two of them with Undertow and Giant Dipper, but like it was not fun to see. I'll just say that. Like just nothing running. It was pretty sad. But yeah, where do I think the next B&M Hyper will go? I don't know because at least for North America, I mean, I'm gonna guess it will either be Dollywood or California's Great America, and that's only if they've paid B&M. Because honestly, with the pandemic happening, if they haven't, I could see them going a different route, a different manufacturer for those hypercoasters. I could see Dollywood going with Vekoma because they're gonna be cheaper, most likely. I would think compared to B&M, and yeah. For California's Great America, it's like I have no clue what could come. But yeah, thank you guys for all the. I've seen all the happy birthdays in the chat. I'm turning 18 today, if you didn't know. And this live stream was just something I thought that Downhill Adrenaline, Matt from Downhill Adrenaline, he gave me the idea of it less than an hour ago in my Discord server. My link to that is in the description below if you haven't uh, gone onto or joined my Coaster Hour Discord server. So yeah, I'm seeing that a lot of you have come on here. But yeah, for our next B&M Hyper, I'm thinking either Dollywood or Great America in terms of North America, probably. December 26th was the last time that. Uh, yeah, I've seen that now. I don't know. It's weird. Uh, Hold up. All right, I think that should have just been a weird thing that passed. I don't think. Um, yeah, I don't know what that was. That was weird. Is it better for you guys now? I saw that. I was like, what in the world? Yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't think it should be laggy because the problem was why was the last one was so laggy was I forgot to connect my phone to the Wi-Fi and yeah, I don't know. There might have been I don't know what that was that just happened. But yeah, I'm gonna try to go back through your guys's comments that I missed earlier. Um, Costa Roaster you can't go because his dad is at risk. I mean that makes sense. My father he actually works with the COVID patients, so it's kind of like uh, it's kind of like some things I have to. I feel like I have to be more careful with maybe getting people sick than actually getting sick because the chances that I've already had coronavirus is pretty high. Um, and it's just yeah, that's just kind of how it is. But I don't want to be like a asymptomatic like carrier or something like that. But yeah, that makes sense. That's just kind of how it is. It's kind of tough um, with those sort of things with people at risk and all of that. My last coaster is like 2 weeks ago on Runaway Mountain Coaster in Branson. Ah, the mountain coaster, nice. I think that one's a pretty good one from what I've heard. But I hardly watch Alpine Coaster POV, so I don't know which ones are good and which ones aren't. People seem to not like the access pass system used at Cedar Point and Kings Island. I went on the 23rd. They didn't seem too promising. Yeah, they seemed pretty brutal. However, I did hear about some people getting like multiples of them, so that's pretty awesome. Um, so like multiple access passes, so they could ride the rides more than once. Because some people were like, "Oh, it's impossible to ride like what is it, Steel Vengeance more than once." But some people, I think, Theme Park Media, he went recently. I think he got like 6 access passes for uh, Steel Vengeance, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the whole system it's not good. And honestly, um, I've been hearing rumors that the Cedar Fair parks, the seasonal ones, may like just stop operating past Labor Day because they've apparently been taking down their like fall posters. And I think some people from the inside have been saying they're planning to close all their parks for the season after Labor Day because they're doing so bad, which is really sad to hear. But I would not be surprised if that's the case. And I know a few of these parks have actually lifted restrictions, like because it used to have to, not restrictions, reservations. They lifted them and people still aren't going. I think it just, the whole reservation thing is so much of an inconvenience, it seems like, but and that's probably why some of these parks aren't doing as well. While we have more people, I wasn't sure how like how many people we're gonna have on here, but I'm surprised that we're getting over 10 because I did this out of random. So that's pretty good. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to look through what else there is. I have a prediction on whether Nickelodeon Universe American Dream will reopen? I think it'll reopen. I don't know. There are some things I'm very concerned about with that park, but I think it'll reopen. Although I think that may depend more on the state of the mall itself rather than the park. That might dictate things more, but I think it will reopen. I just don't know how long it'll last, honestly, if it will, if it like goes away or not. I think it is a serious question, And I think even the one in Mall of America, the future for that one, I think I've heard like some not too good things about it. So yeah, all Alpine coasters look kind of boring. There's definitely some that look better than others though. Uh, I haven't ridden one, so I think they're probably a lot more exciting to ride than they actually look like. They actually look kind of cool. Unless you get behind like someone who's super slow. Uh, for the ones that have the manual control brakes or um, whatever the braking system is. Um, oh, really? Basically, when Coaster Mania says, basically when he went, there were two very nice guests who gave us access passes when they got into the park. But guests had to wait outside of the specific coasters to get access passes they gave out. Wow! So they had to actually like that. That sucks. Wow. I mean, yeah, that does not sound good, at all. Thank you all so much for the happy birthday wishes. It's really nice, especially because I'm not really doing like a celebration with friends or like outside family from this house this year just because of how things are. So it's like really nice seeing all of this here. And actually, I got some pretty cool gifts. I guess I'll show them to you right now. If you didn't see my Instagram, I actually got two. My parents got me two new Hershey Park shirts from Hershey Park. They were able to email the park and order it somehow, and they got here quicker than my Cedar Point book, which I still haven't gotten, even though I ordered within the first 10 minutes after it was available. Shoot, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to show it, but like if you guys can see it, this is my Fahrenheit shirt I got. I don't know if it looks like backwards. No, okay, I'm looking at my screen. Yeah, it looks really nice. From Hershey Park. So I really like how this shirt looks. And I also got a Skyrush one, and this is like the best looking one I've seen. When I went to Hershey Park, they didn't have a lot of good shirts available. There was like just a bunch of I survived super duper looper shirts, and they didn't look that good. Uh, but yeah, these look sick. Here's the Skyrush one. Trying to give it so you get a good look at it. A little okay, actually, it does come out pretty nice. But yeah, I love these shirts. They look really good. I just got them today. Well, I guess they arrived earlier, but yeah, I mean, I just got these today, so they look pretty sick in my opinion. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I think they got like a bunch of new shirts recently. Like I was looking, they look pretty good. These ones I like a lot. They were way better than the stuff I saw on my actual visit. Uh, I was like, I'm really happy with these. There was a newer Fahrenheit shirt that also looked really cool. So that's nice. All right, so uh, Matthew's last coaster was Pandemonium. My last one was Ghost Rider. I guess I should have mentioned that. Um, let's see. Sanford Bridge says he'll be curious to see whether the American Dream admission price comes down within a couple of years. I think it will have to. I think for it to survive, they have to put it down, put it lower. It just is the only thing that makes sense because the park's like what I think around like $70 or something, 60 $70. Way too much for what they actually provide, and I can't imagine operating it actually like the cost. I don't know what the profit margin is for that price, but like there's got to be a way they can lower it. There's like no way it should cost as much as it does right now. And also that water park is ridiculous. I think the water park might be in more danger than American Dream itself. Like I mean Nickelodeon Universe, I should say. Yeah. Yeah, the shirts, you guys. Seemed like it as well. Nice thigh crush shirt. Yeah, I was surprised. Air Temp Rules like my post. I was surprised he didn't say anything about it. I was like expecting because sometimes, if someone says Skyrish is good or the best coaster in the park, uh, he has something to say, which is pretty funny. Um, but yeah. You were surprised by the lack of decent merch at Hershey. Yeah, like I said, I just saw a bunch of like The only thing that wasn't super duper looper related that I remember was there was this like tie dye Skyra shirt that only had the logo, and I'm just like, well, I didn't don't I'm not like a big fan of tie dyes, so I'm just kind of like I didn't really want it, so I didn't take it. The only thing I think I got from the park, my brother got a chocolate scented shirt. I'm pretty sure, and um, um, and I just saw Stanford Bridges comment. That's pretty funny. Um, but shoot, what was I even saying? What's wrong with my hair? Oh, I didn't do it before this. It's just kind of how it is. I didn't really do it before this. So obviously it doesn't look like how it usually does, I guess. Um, but yeah, they had a Skyra shirt that was tie dye. The things we got, like I said, my brother got a Hershey chocolate scented shirt, and then we got a Christmas ornament for a Christmas tree. That was a Hershey Park carousel, which is pretty cool. I don't have that where I can literally grab it and show you. It's in the garage somewhere probably. Um, but yeah, so that's like the only merch I got when I was there because they didn't really have good shirts when I was there. So like me seeing these, I'm like, these look sick. But yeah, Valraven looks forceless as heck. It's not very forceful at all. I'm supposed to release my Cedar Point ranking, re-ranking, I should say, next week. Um, yeah, I would have. I think I would have released it this week, but like I said, I was in the Bay Area for 2 days, and that was something that was kind of decided like less than a week before it happened. So, yeah, the Cedar Point re-ranking should come out next week. I have like all the footage. I am a decent. I'm like um, kind of. I'm still like recording some lines, but yeah, it should be out pretty soon. If you're wondering about the Cedar Point book, if you didn't hear earlier, still have on it. It still hasn't come, which is really sad because the thing is like about to sell out online. So like my review's not even gonna be like really worth much because um, it's just like no one's gonna be able to get it probably by the time I like do either a live stream or review it or whatever. So I'm just kind of like that sucks. If you're from on I guess on Twitter, Tony Clark said that they would be sold out pretty soon, which is pretty sad. But yeah. Oh, Downhill Adrenaline mentioned me in a video that he's working on. Actually, if you weren't here earlier, Matt from Downhill Adrenaline, he actually was the reason I did this live stream. I think he mentioned his live stream. I'm like, oh, that would have been a good idea. Like, oh, time. So, yeah, that's why I'm doing a live stream from Matt's suggestion here. So that's awesome. Now I'm gonna look back here. Is there any Candemonium merch at the park? I'm pretty. Yeah, there is Candemonium merch. I didn't get it because it's a coaster I haven't ridden, so that's why I don't have it. Um, yeah. So let's see. Well, I was at well, Coaster Mania was at Cedar Point. They had uh $1.99 huge maps in the Pagoda gift shops. Yeah, I think that's where or the gift shop. Yeah, I think that's where they have the book too. Um, it's just the book. It's taking a million years to get here. I ordered it over 2 weeks ago, and it's still nothing. So, it's pretty wild. I don't think they were prepared at all for the whole book situation, which is unfortunate. But yeah, have I ridden? Has Stamford Bridge ridden Boardwalk Bullet? That coaster looks so good. Honestly, it looks like the best. In my opinion, it looks like the best gravity group, at least in America, outside of Voyage. I think it looks better than Hades 360 and Ravine Flyer 2, which I think are the other two that you might think of. I think Boardwalk Bullet looks a fair bit better than both of them, although Hades 360, that ride, man, looks really good. Um, yeah. They retracted recently, so I don't think it's that rough. And honestly, even if it is, I don't think it's that big of a problem. But yeah, unpopular opinion, your Coaster Roaster's unpopular opinion is that Valraven is the best V&M at Cedar Point. That's definitely something I wouldn't agree with, but I guess, I mean, that's cool that at least you got a good ride on it. Where me, I really didn't. Although I just don't feel like it's my type of ride, so I don't ever think I'd consider it the best at Cedar Point. Um, it's just, I don't think so. Um, so let's see what else we got here. The boss looks bumpy. It probably is in some spots, but like I don't think it's that big of a deal. Not at all. Um, but yeah, let's see. What book? The Cedar Point 150 Years book. You can get it online, but like the whole thing's been, the situation it's bad. Like I ordered my book over 2 weeks ago, and I was supposed to get it within the 2 weeks, and I still haven't. And I assumed it would come like soon, but honestly, I have no clue. So that's why you haven't heard anything from me on that. I probably would have at least posted like a community post with a picture of it at worst or something by now if I actually had it, but I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes today. I like Tony Clark, I believe, said that all the ones that were ordered on the first day should be coming this week, and I kind of figured that this week that meant before the weekend, but I guess if it comes Saturday or Sunday, I'd be fine with that. I mean, at the end, as long as I get it, it's fine. It's just a little annoying that it's been taking this long. I don't want to go that. I don't want to talk about the book that much because I haven't gotten it yet. So I think that'll be the end of that. Boardwalk Bullet reminds you of Thunderhead, even though the two coasters aren't similar at all. I don't. I don't really see it much. So that's kind of wild. If anything, Boardwalk Bullet, like it's a very different ride, but it's like the night ride experience is like I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is kind of like I feel like it is kind of like why I like Ghost Rider. It looks like the night ride experience is amazing because of all the head choppers and stuff, but it's basically the whole ride. It looks so sick. That ride looks amazing. Boardwalk Bullet. It looks fantastic. Uh, Coaster Cloud says his friend rode Hades before the inversion, and when it had the PTC trains, he said it was the worst coaster he's ridden. Oh yeah, now they have the Timberliners. Yeah, that ride would be brutal. With the PTCs, I think Boardwalk Bullet does have the PTCs. Don't like quote me on that or anything, but I believe it does. I'm actually gonna look up here. Um, let's see. Yeah, they have PTCs. I mean, if they retract it, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think they couldn't. They tried to do Timberliners or something, or maybe they didn't. But I think it would like, uh, if they did put Timberliners, it wouldn't make it through the course. So you'll probably never see that. I don't know how Millennium Flyers would work if they would ever consider that. Probably not. But if they could put that on there, that'd be kind of cool to see. But yeah, let's see. Boss is insanely rough in the back, but you feel like it just added to the part of the out of control nature. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Boss seems like a really cool ride too, especially if you get the uh, trimless ride, I believe, or I guess the without. Yeah, that sounds insane, but I don't know that that many people have gotten that. So Voyage with Timberliners will unfortunately never happen because it never made it. They couldn't make it through the course. It'd be cool to see, but yeah. I mean, I guess Millennium Flyers would. I think has any non GCI coaster gotten them? I'm trying to remember. Like outside of Ghost Rider or some of the ones they've retracked, or I guess like I don't know if Timberwolf they changed the trains or not, but um, yeah, I have to actually wonder. Um, are there any other coasters that have the Millennium Flyers? Maybe I can find out. There might be a way. Hold up. So let's find a coaster that does have them. Gold Striker has them. I'm just kind of seeing if I can find it. Dang it, you can't. That sucks. Um, well, that's unfortunate. Looks like it can't. Uh, yeah, you can't. I can't. At least I cannot find it. I mean, if someone knows of one, then let me know. But like, I don't know of a coaster that has those trains. That isn't a GCI besides like Ghost Rider. Actually, does now I'm curious. Does Timberwolf have those trains? I never looked too much into that. Timberwolf has. Great, it doesn't say. That's brilliant. Let's see if we can at least find a picture. I mean, from all I'm seeing, it doesn't look like it. But if anyone's written that, let me know what trains that Timberwolf actually has right now. That'd be nice. I heard roller coaster at Lagoon recently got Millennium Flyers. I think I heard about that. Actually, now that you mention it, yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, the Millennium Flyers. How am I saying it? Uh, those trains are really nice. I love them. Uh, so if more coasters could, more wooden coasters could get that are really good, that would be awesome. If they would work or make sense, because I don't know if they would. That's interesting that they did it at Lagoon. Um, Man, I keep. Let's see. I'm gonna actually look at that real quick. Yeah, they do have the Millennium Flyers. I just saw that. Yep, they do. Would Ravine Flyer 2 be better with Millennium Flyers, or should they keep the PTC trains? I think people would probably say the Millennium Flyers. I just don't know how possible that is. Um, don't know how doable that is at all. Superman Escape from Krypton is so dumb. It is a pretty dumb ride. I do have to agree. This I guess the it's not really, I wouldn't call it airtime, but like the weightless sensation that you get at the top, that's pretty cool. But the rest of the ride is just nothing. Even the launch is like not even really good. It's like a family coaster launch pretty much. With how like just the rate of acceleration is nothing that's impressive at all. I think we lagged for like a quick second, but I don't think it should be like that. What is the best coaster at Kennywood in my opinion? Haven't been, but I would guess that it's Phantom's Revenge just by looking at the lineup. I do not think I'd prefer Steel Curtain over it, and I don't think I'd prefer like Skyrocket or any of the wooden coasters. So Phantom's Revenge definitely looks like the best to me. But in fact, I honestly don't know what number two would be because I've heard such mixed things on Steel Curtain. I think Skyrocket looks super underrated, and maybe one of the wooden coasters could like maybe Thunderbolt, or maybe even Jackrabbit. I highly doubt Jackrabbit. Probably Thunderbolt, but could surprise me in coming at number two. Like honestly, it's kind of. I mean, most people would say Steel Curtain, but like I don't know. I don't know for me. I don't know. Medusa Steel or Superman at Six Flags Mexico? Yes, this is a question I'm surprised I don't get more often because if you don't know, El Toro Ryan went to Six Flags Mexico and actually said that he preferred El Ultimo Escape over Medusa Steel. And I love both coasters. I think they're both fantastic. Um, oh boy, Tony Clark just tweeted some things. That's beautiful. Probably not anything good, but anyways, um, I prefer Medusa Steel over Superman El Ultimo Escape. Just a little bit. I know Stamford Bridge, you don't actually like El Ultimo Escape as much as uh, either me or El Toro Ryan, but uh, I would prefer, I guess I would take Medusa Steel, uh, which, yeah. I guess I'll check Twitter real quick just to see what he has to say. I really don't want to focus on the book too much, like, but let's see what he had to say. These should be arriving all over. Watch the mail. Okay, so it should be coming to. That's just. It's kind of what I figured. Like, I wouldn't. I feel it should because. Oh, FedEx truck, as I just watched, just drove past. It could have delivered it to my mail right then and there, actually. Um, but I'm not gonna. If it comes, I'll like put out a community post I mean, I was telling my parents, hey, if it comes to like the door, knock on my door and tell me like in the middle of the stream, because that would have been like really cool. Um, but yeah, um, uh, in Coaster Daddy's inner stream, that's nice. So I guess you guys have given me your questions. Like I said, pretty much. Um, pretty much, this is not like this is an informal stream, so I'm just kind of winging it completely. But yeah, yours hasn't even shipped yet. I don't think they give notifications. If you're waiting for one, I really do not think they give notifications. Um, I mean, maybe they do, but I mean, I haven't gotten any, so I do not believe they give notifications or anything. They do. I I don't know. Well, I'll wait and see. But I don't think. Um, with how they're handling the whole situation, I wouldn't be surprised if like maybe they do for some or they don't. But yeah, it's the shipping number with the online order. Okay. Alrighty, but yeah, I don't want to talk about the book anymore. Yeah. You hate having your birthday in April. It kind of sucks because yeah, it's in the middle of school year. Well, that like it's like I like yes, it does suck, but I mean, I don't know. It also like in the summer, yes, it's nice, but at the same time like uh I don't know. It's like planning things out. If you're at school, you kind of have that covered anyways because you're in classes, but you can't really celebrate. So, like, I can kind of understand why. Um, so, yeah. So I guess I'm trying to think of what I have left. What's next? Because like I said, this is like totally something that I pretty much did on a whim. But the news, if you guys could update me on that, there might be some things I don't know about because I came back from the Bay Area like yesterday. Um, but I do know that the SeaWorld coasters have basically been delayed until 2021. Iron Gwazi may not be included with those 2021 coasters because I believe they said all the ones under construction and they're actually doing work on Iron Gwazi right now, as far as I know. Uh, so. Yeah. So I know that's going on. Obviously, the Intamin concepts that came out last week, I made a video on that. Those look cool, but some of them definitely look like they could have done a lot more. Like, I mean, the Ultra Splash is basically a power splash that's a single rail and probably has better airtime. And the even the Giga Splash is basically Super Splash at Plopsa Land without the theming, and the interactive water part is before the lift, I guess, instead of after. But yeah. So I think I missed a question here actually. How does Expedition GeForce look? It looks really good. One of the better looking Intamin in my opinion. I don't know. I don't keep like a list at least in terms of like manufacturers, but it looks like it's up there. Did we lag again? I don't know if that's my Wi-Fi or not, but yeah. Let's see. So, you would be so happy to have your birthday in summer so you could go to theme parks and hang out with friends besides school. Yeah, I guess that is true. Like, I think having it in the summer does have its perks. Obviously, right now, not really, but I don't think really anything does. Um, but, yeah. No, that makes sense. In Canada with two parks, I wouldn't be sad if LaRon closes in the next 11 years. I don't see it happening, but like the only thing is Goliath would be gone. Like there's like some decent coasters there that I don't think you could relocate. Like I don't see how you can relocate a B&M Hyper. Um, I just I mean, is it possible? Maybe, but is it worth it? No, especially if it closes like within the next few years. Like no one's gonna be getting that. Um, so yeah. I mean, well, no one would care because it's LaRon. I mean, you're kind of right, but I mean, I'm sure the locals. who go there would probably care a little bit. As for coaster enthusiasts, like, I mean, I would want to go there eventually just to see if it's as terrible as people say it is, and also Goliath looks really cool. So there's some rides there that don't look like absolute. They don't look too bad. There's some good looking rides there, but the park overall, I've heard some not so good things about it. So uh, yeah, I don't know. Um, I would like to go before it closes if it did have to close. Yeah, they relocated Dominator, so why not Goliath? Dominator's a little different in that it's a floorless, so it's smaller scale. Although Goliath isn't actually 200 feet tall, but still, I think it's a little more complicated. And also, um, I mean, Dominator, when they relocated Dominator, there wasn't like a recession going on as far as I'm aware. Let's see, when did Dominator actually open? Like, okay, it did open in 2008. However, the relocation process probably started well before the recession started in 2007. Where right now, there's no, if it were to close like today, no one's picking that up. There's no one who's going to. Um, there's just, at least in the United States, there is no park that is going to pick up that coaster. They just, because they're all struggling right now. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying that if it closed like soon, which I don't see happening, but like within the next 11 years, I don't see that, but maybe we'll see. I don't think it's doing bad, like actual attendance wise and everything. I mean, right now it probably isn't doing the best, but not really anything is doing that great. So, yeah. So that's kind of why I think Dominator, I guess, got relocated and why Goliath Road. Like, yeah, they relocated the B&M at Hard Rock Park after that closed down in Myrtle Beach, and that was a major coaster. That is true, but how long are these rides? Like, okay, Dominator is actually pretty long. Okay, so, um, and it's pretty tall. Actually, Goliath might not. Like, it is obviously a very different ride. It's not as compact as those. Let's see. It's actually not quite as long. It's slightly taller. I mean, if it were like normal circumstances and it closed, like I think it could get relocated, but considering like what's going like just everything that's happening, well not happening, but like just park's kind of struggling right now. It's just I don't see it. It just would not happen. If it were to happen like anytime within like the next year or two, basically, I don't think it would get bought or I guess relocated because that's expensive. I mean, I guess it's cheaper than getting a new coaster, but still, I just don't see it. Especially because like it's not even 200 feet tall, so it's like what? How can you even market it? Um, like I don't see how you would market it for a park. So yeah. Let's see. Looking like a dinosaur is doing something. I think someone said that Gao does nothing basically, or that someone said that Gao. Yeah, Dayton Barnes said that Gao doesn't do anything. Uh, it doesn't. I mean, yeah, it doesn't. And the dinosaur, like, if you actually look at the head and the theming, it's even more weird. I saw this a few days ago, maybe a few weeks ago at this point. But, like, the head of the Stegosaurus is, I'm pretty sure, what it's trying to be. Um, it has, like, these weird alien antennas. And there's actually, like, if you look close enough, there's actually a little girl on their on the dinosaur's head, on the Stegosaurus's head, which is really weird. So, uh, it's just like so weird the theming for it. It's really weird. You'd think it was almost 4,000 feet long. Both coasters are, I think, barely over 4,000 feet long in terms of Dominator and um, Goliath. Gao is like one of the longer coasters on Earth. So, yeah. Uh, let's see. The ride at Myrtle Beach. Well, yeah, I guess they relocated that coaster to Vietnam. It did take a long time though for them to actually relocate it, if I'm correct. Like that thing did not open anytime uh like that quickly. Like 2017. How long was it like just sitting there? Yeah, it operated until 2009. When did it actually get removed? 2014. So I guess eventually someone would pick it up, but like if in Goliath's case. But yeah, I just um I that would be just I don't think it would be the best thing if Laurent closed, but there are like worse parks to close obviously. Like it would be much more sad for basically I think almost any of the other Six Flags parks to close than Laurent. So yeah. I wonder if people hated on Maverick before it opened because Orion got tons of hate for not being a Giga, even though it is. Um, I think I don't know. So for Orion, like I mean, because people were expecting a Giga, like I don't know what the expectations were for Cedar Point. I imagine I wouldn't be surprised if it actually turned out that people back then, because I'm trying to remember what were like the Intamin Blitz coasters that I'm not really good with like remembering what came out. Maverick was actually the first Blitz coaster, so it's just I mean maybe that would have been unique, but I feel like if people looked at the layout, they wouldn't have thought it was underwhelming. I don't think that would have been a thing, but yeah. Orion looks really good. The only thing is, I've heard it looks terrible in the skyline. Like it doesn't even dominate the skyline for Kings Island, which is, that's actually a problem. Like if you have a Giga coaster and it doesn't dominate your skyline, yeah, like yeah, we have Cedar Point that has, um, I guess Top Row Dragster, but Millennium Force is still definitely one of the coasters you look at when you're looking at the skyline of the park when you're going there. But Orion is like in the back of the park, and it's barely taller than Diamondback, at least when you're looking at it apparently from the highway, which is pretty sad. But yeah. See you, Matt, from Downhill Adrenaline, and thank you for being on here. Um, but yeah. Uh, so let's see. Well, I guess coaster enthusiasts, I think most of them were probably older, I should say, like during Maverick, or maybe not. I don't know because it feels like just hearing about things, it seems like coaster enthusiasts were kind of more young adults, or maybe not. Like the youngest was more young adults at least back then. I guess that's mostly who would have been on the forums and stuff. But now it's like because YouTube event and everything, we have a lot of coaster enthusiasts who are younger. Even me, I guess I'd probably be considered younger than maybe what was more normal or more thought of. Maybe if like even like over 10 years back or something. I don't know what I'm saying exactly, but if someone has been in the community for longer, maybe they would kind of understand because I've only like been in the coasters or basically been a coaster enthusiast since like 2013. So yeah, yeah. Let's see. Um, but yeah, your point that was Maverick is only 100 feet. I think if it came out like, well, actually, I don't. If it came out now, I think people would still be hyped for it. Uh, yeah, I kind of understand. Like maybe it fell short of expectations because it wasn't really a record breaker. I could kind of see people being disappointed because of that, and I bet there actually was some disappointment. But like once people wrote it, it's like I'm sure that quickly went away because Maverick has been like a fan favorite coaster for a long time at Cedar Point. I mean, some people still rank it as the number one there. So, and some people still rank Millennium Force as the number one coaster at Cedar Point. And then you have people who rank Steel Vengeance, the majority probably of people who rank Steel Vengeance as number one. And then you also have some people who rank Magnum XL 200 as their number one at Cedar Point. So that's actually pretty cool. Like how, uh, I guess so many different coasters, like pretty much four of them, can be or considered as number one. So obviously, a few of those are a little more rare, but I have seen people who have those as their number ones at Cedar Point. So coaster enthusiast, so that's pretty cool. Um, where like most parks, it's basically like one or two coasters are basically the ones you're arguing for number one. I mean, um, I guess I'm trying to think of other ones that are kind of like you have a bunch of them that people argue over is the number one. Like Magic Mountain, I guess it's X2 Twisted Colossus, and you might get that one weird person who's like saying that, not weird, but one person who says Tatsu's the best. But yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, it's pretty cool that Cedar Point has basically four different, actually five. I just realized Top Thrill Dragster too. A lot of, there's like, Hunter from Theme Park Hunting has that as his number one. That's crazy. I think anything other than that, you're kind of going a little too far. But that's pretty cool. What is my number one favorite B&M at Cedar Point? You know, I am re-releasing my list. So do I want to give it away right now? I mean, you'll have to watch my list basically. That'll come out. But yeah. Have I ever thought of doing a video on Skyline Park in Germany? I have not actually. It's like the island of misfit toys. Almost every coaster there is an oddball. I'll have to look into that. I think I've heard and look kind of like looked at Skyline I think a little bit, but I don't remember too much of it, which is kind of weird. Um, but no, I've never thought of doing a video for this. I think this is it. Let's see. Let me look at exactly. Yeah, let's see what this park has. I'm trying to remember. They have, if I'm looking at the right one, they have an SBF Visa spinner. I guess that's pretty normal, things considered. They have a Schwarzkopf Wildcat. That is something that I guess is, I guess, a little more unique. Sky Dragster, a Mauer Spike Coaster. That's interesting. A Skyrider. Oh, that's weird. Is this like a what the heck? What? Yeah, that is a weird coaster. I remember. I think I remember seeing this. That is a weird ride. Sky Spin, which is a Mauer spinner. Maybe some of these have weird theming, and that's what I'm not seeing. Like there are some weird coasters here though, and Skywell. Like they do have some coasters that it's like it's not like usual for like a bunch of parks to have these, so that is kind of cool. That they have like some of these coasters like that. At least, yeah. Someone said Gatekeeper was number one at Cedar Point in general. Were they actually a coaster enthusiast? Like, I mean, I know people at my school who think that I think Full Throttle is the best coaster at Magic Mountain. That isn't that uncommon, I don't think. And then Goliath is also one, which, you know. Even I think Escape from Krypton is some people. They have that as their favorite. I don't think a lot of people at my school would actually say Twisted Colossus is their favorite. In fact, I think Twisted Colossus is kind of one that's underrated, which is kind of, at least at my school, like most people will talk about X2, Tatsu, and Full Throttle more than anything else at the park, which is interesting. I think X2 is the one that's brought up the most, which makes sense. I mean, it is a very unique and very intimidating ride for sure. Twisted Colossus's dueling is what makes Dagan Barnes love the ride so much. That makes sense. The only thing is I rarely ever get those rides, so it's just kind of like I can't ever really look at it like that because I mean I hardly ever get racing rides, so it's just kind of like or dueling rides, I guess I should say. But yeah, so 20 more minutes. Yeah, 20 more minutes before I end the stream. Like I said, this was just basically going to be an hour. And I think I'd actually go a little over that because I started earlier. But yeah, this was like just a shorter thing. Because obviously I'm like celebrating with family here at my house. So yeah. No, a lot of their coasters are totally unique. Really? Was I looking at the wrong one? Um, they had a weird Kypro coaster. Um, that's weird. Like, was it the one I was looking at, or did I get the wrong one? Oh, they have a butter. They used to have a butterfly, but it's gone. And And then they used to have, oh, that's the Schwarzkopf Wildcat. They just relocated to another portion of the park. No, it's the right one. I'll have to look into them more. Like, I mean, I'll have to look into the actual coasters more. But yeah, the people I knew who visited Magic Mountain didn't even bother riding Twisted Colossus. Like it has longer lines, at least from my experience. Like it's not the longest line like ever, at the park usually, but I mean it's weird because it's like one that's hardly ever talked about, and I even know I've even heard from people that they don't like it. So it's kind of interesting. I'm like, they said it was rough. I'm like, how is it rough? Yeah, the butterfly got taken out in 2019 apparently. That was what I was just looking at, um, which is unfortunate. But yeah, maybe they'll relocate it to another portion of the park, kind of like what the other one did. They did with the Schwarzkopf Wildcat. But for right now, yeah. Um, everyone at Coaster Cloud School is like, they love Wild Thing the most at Valley Fair. It's so scary. Yeah, Goliath is like kind of the same thing. It's like Goliath doesn't do anything, and like Superman Escape from Krypton, people are like, oh, it's so scary. I'm like, it's really not. It's really like a family coaster. But yeah, yeah, it's just and like coasters that go upside down. Like yeah, I just saw that have a lap bar. Like even at all, apparently they're like really scary, which is it's just like wow. But I mean, I kind of understand where they're coming from, but like it's just like something I'm just kind of like I don't really comment on too much, or I try not to, anyways. That might be. I'm just like, if that book comes today, I'm like, I'm just kind of like I'm expecting it. But yeah, alrighty. So let's see what else. Badger State Coasters has to eat dinner. So okay. So thank you for coming here. Um, and thanks for the happy birthday wish. Good to have you on here. So let's see. Um, you let's see. That stinks. It's actually self-operated, halfway between a coaster and a public park ride. Interesting. Yeah, it is sad. Hopefully, like I said, maybe it's getting relocated to another portion of the park, like their Schwarzkopf Wildcat did. Did they actually? They actually used to have one. They've had two, or maybe they've relocated it already. I have to hold on. I have to look at this. I need to kind of like see how this is. Huh. It's weird. I guess no, they used to have two, and one of them got removed in like 2012, I guess, or sometime later. And yeah, it's weird. But yes. What is the next coaster on the chopping block at any park? Ooh, that's tough. Um, hmm. I'm trying to think which one's probably on the chopping block. Like, what would be the one I'd pick to get removed the soonest next? I don't know. It's hard to say because Possessed at Dorney Park probably would have been my pick, but as it turns out, they were doing maintenance on it. They were like getting new parts for it. So I honestly think it'll either stay at the park or get relocated somewhere else. I don't think Possessed is getting scrapped at Dorney Park. It might be relocated somewhere else in the park, or um, perhaps it'll go to another park, but I don't think it's getting scrapped. Unless they have a problem with the part, then it will. But I think Anaconda at King's Dominion is kind of a safe bet. That'll happen eventually. Um, I don't know if it'll be sooner rather than later, but that will definitely, I think, happen at some point. And then also, I think at Magic Mountain, Escape from Krypton's actually going to be the next coaster to bite the dust, which some people are surprised by when I say that, but honestly, I could see it going sooner than Viper, just because Intamin doesn't make parts for it anymore, and they just donated the last parts from what was it called? The one at Dream World Tower of Terror 2, I think it was. Um, yeah, they just I guess they gave the parts to Magic Mountain to extend its lifespan. So yeah, I could see Anaconda at Kings Dominion. I think that one's going. Um, Cedar Pinterest, I couldn't tell you which coaster is gonna go next. There's like so many. There's like at least there's like five, I think, honestly, on like the chopping block in my opinion. And it's like I couldn't tell you which one's gonna go first. It's like there's Gemini, which I really don't want to go. Iron Dragon, which I also wouldn't want to see to go. Wouldn't want to see go. Corkscrew, um, Cedar Creek Mine Ride, which honestly, if any coaster has to go, that's probably the one. And then you have Wicked Twister. So it's just kind of like um, any one of those, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah. So I'm really confused here, but with this comment. But alrighty. Um, so basically everything has been questions. So perhaps do I have a question for you guys? I think it lagged again for a slight second, but that's just gonna happen, I guess. Yeah, Iron Dragon, that would be sad, and also Gemini would be really sad. So yeah, already. So let's see. Uh, like I guess I'll try to do like a question for you guys. Um, okay. Um, okay, yeah, this one. Um, do you guys, what is your most anticipated dark ride to do? Maybe I've asked this already in a different one. I don't think I have. But if you have one, what is your most anticipated dark ride or themed ride to do? Not including coasters. Um, so, yeah. Yeah, the name Riddler Mindbender is awful. You're kind of furious with the GP right now. What would I do if Kings Island built a dive coaster? It would be a. I don't think it's a good addition for them, but whatever. I mean, it's. I don't really see. I mean, I'm pretty sure it would do well, but like, I don't think it would be the best idea. 808 Coaster Life says either Rise of the Resistance or Journey to the Center of the Earth. Those are up there. I actually, um, okay, so I actually have like some stuff on here. So for me, like my most anticipated ones, I have like a bunch on here, but Rise of the Resistance is probably the one I would say is my most anticipated. Um, out of all of them. Journey to the Center of the Earth is also up there. And then Pirates of the Caribbean, Battle of the Sunken Treasure at Shanghai Disneyland also is like really high up there for me too. And then I guess at Disneyland in California, I still haven't ridden Indiana Jones, so that would be one there as well. And then Mystic Manor at Hong Kong Disney is also like looks really good. So yeah, any of those are like really high up there. And also, I guess Symbolica at Efteling also looks really good. And someone mentioned Avatar. Yeah, that one looks really good too. I don't know. It's like a flying theater. I mean, I'm sure the experience is way better than that on that than on Soarin', but they're just kind of okay for me. I don't really care for them all that much. Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is another one that's pretty good. It's definitely one I would look forward to doing when I was at it when I'm at Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios Japan. Yeah, Pit's special is yeah not very good. Symbolica is really cool. Yeah, I've heard really good things about that ride. It seems really good, especially for a non Disney or Universal park. It seems amazing. Arthur is also really cool. Is that the one at shoot? I think it's Arthur. Is that at Alton Towers? No, Europa Park. What am I thinking? Um, yeah, no, yeah, I've seen that. I don't know why I forgot randomly where it was, but yeah, that ride looks pretty cool. How did I get Alton Towers? I don't know. But anyways, yes, Europa Park. I have no clue how I mixed that up. But yeah, those rides those seem pretty cool. Arthur is not really one I would have thought of, but it does seem like a cool ride. Um, but now I'm trying to think. I can get I'm trying to see. Like I have like just kind of some questions on here. Um, but yeah. Efteling has tons of great dark rides. That's what I've heard. So yeah, and actually also I guess I'll do a plug in here. But if you have Discord, I actually have my own Coaster Hour Discord, and the link is in the description. So if you want to join that, you can because I'm actually doing a park vote like tournament, a park poll tournament that you guys can vote on which park is the best. And over the next 2 weeks, basically, we'll be narrowing it down to like the best one. It's a 32 park bracket that you guys can vote on, and I will be putting out two of these per day. And the first one actually already came out, and it was I did the matchups randomly, but I picked the 32 parks, and the first matchup was I believe Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi versus Efteling in the Netherlands. So yeah. Also, Ferrari World looks pretty cool just in general. I'll say that. I picked Efteling for that one, or I would pick Efteling for that. I think they're two very different parks, obviously, but Efteling, I think it looks like it has the better theming, the better dark rides, the better atmosphere, and it just looks really amazing. Ferrari World also looks really cool, but and they do have the better coaster collection by far, but like I think that Efteling would provide probably the better overall experience. So yeah. So yeah, so let's see. We have 9 minutes left. Um, ooh, okay, another thing. Um, another thing I have is my random RCDB coasters video. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It hasn't been getting too many views. I think that might be more like my thumbnail more than anything else. I don't think I did the best job with it. I kind of was looking back on it, like the first one, and obviously, like the first one of pretty much anything isn't going to be the best, at least usually, well, other than movies, um, but like just in terms of like YouTube videos and series, so your first video of it probably will not be the best. And I was looking back at it, and I was kind of like, I think I was a little too harsh toward like some of these parks, um, in like some of these countries that don't necessarily have a whole lot. So I was just kind of curious if you guys kind of thought I was, if you guys have watched the video, if you guys thought I was a little harsh on maybe some of the parks. The coasters, I don't really feel so much about them because, I mean, at the end of the day, they're just coasters, and a lot of them are models that we have seen in other parks, so I don't really think that trashing on one is not really, or pointing out that one's not very good is not really, um, I guess, that mean. But for parks, I'm just kind of like, I think I wanted to focus more on the positive and the weirder aspects of the parks rather than the necessarily the bad of them. Because I think, like, what was it? Cuba Land had a really cool looking inverting flat ride, frisbee ride. What am I saying? I don't remember the manufacturer, but it looked really cool. And I didn't really comment on it too much. I was just kind of like, missed opportunity there. Like I did, but like, um, there's just things I was like, I think I should have pointed out this or that. Also, I didn't have my brightness super high while looking at it, so I think I missed some details there with the parks. If you actually look back at it, I was like, I missed that and that. So, uh, yeah. If you guys have any suggestions for that series, let me know, like here, if you guys have seen that. But yeah. Coaster Daddy's original audio sounded awful. For the original video, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, apparently it wasn't that good. For the first one he made a long while back. His more recent one was pretty good. I didn't try to rip him off. That was like the random RCDB coasters idea was something I had had for months, and I still did it in I think a way that was unique because I had like the best, the worst, and the weirdest coaster, and then the best and weirdest park. I'm not doing a worst park just because I don't think that's really. I mean, even choosing a best is kind of tough because you're just given a set of pictures. And some of the parks that I like choose for the best, like Canada's Wonderland, like from the pictures, it doesn't look like the best, but just because I know about the park, I picked it as the best. Um, so I feel like a worst wouldn't really make any sense. A worst coaster, I think that's a little, it's not really that harsh because I mean, I think it's, I think I just have this thing where like parks, I want to be a little less critical of them than I am coasters because I feel like I don't know, it's just something I kind of feel like. about parks. If you guys have anything to add, I see there's isn't a whole lot of stuff in the chat, so maybe you guys want me to talk about something else here real quick. So yeah, you should do a most clean category. I don't think I'll do that. Just because, like, I guess I could, but yeah. Am I going to end the stream at 4, or I guess for you guys on the East Coast 7? Yeah, probably. If you guys have like any extra like questions or stuff, I may extend it a little bit, but yeah, that's kind of my plan. Um, but yeah, if you guys have anything you want to suggest or like just your thoughts on the video series, I would like to know. Just because that's kind of something I came up with recently, or I guess created recently. So yeah, if you have any of that, let me know here in the chat. And I guess the last thing that we can talk about, actually, should I? I mean, I kind of opened it up for Q&A already. Oh yeah, so I guess I'll talk about my Bay Area trip. So I was in the Bay Area for 2 days basically. I was at an uncrowded beach. I saw some cool stuff, some crabs. We did some rock hopping, so I saw some crabs and sea anemones, um, and things of that sort. It was more of a like kind of relaxing trip, but we also saw some whales breaching in the ocean, and we even saw a seal in the water. Some pretty cool stuff. But when I was coming back from the trip, I actually passed Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. And you can actually go inside the place, but you can't obviously ride anything because the admission is free. I decided not to because I have a lot of good memories there, and I don't want to be like my last visit there really in a while, or I guess because I don't know if I'm going to go back very soon to Santa Cruz, at least the boardwalk. I didn't want my like visit, or I guess my most recent visit, to be of one like where nothing's operating. It's kind of depressing because seeing like everything closed was just kind of sad because I've um, seen like I went to those parks with like my friends and my family, my my relatives. So it's like um, yeah, uh, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's like I have a lot of memories from there, like just with my friends, with my family. So um, yeah, it's just kind of like it was kind of sad seeing it. I didn't take any pictures. I did not kind of like seeing it just how it was. It was kind of depressing. I'm like, I would rather remember it for like the good stuff. I mean, seeing a coaster for the first time this year was cool, but not operated was just kind of sad. But yeah. Okay, so you guys can ask any last questions here, and or any last discussions, anything, and I'll kind of cover that. And then when we get finished with those, I'll probably end the stream, whether or not that is before or after 4. So yeah. How do I like the third Shrek movie? Shrek the Third sucks. I actually like all the Shrek movies besides Shrek the Third. My favorite's actually the second. I really like that movie. It was one of my favorites as a little kid, and it's still amazing now. Just the textbook definition of a good sequel. And I also like the fourth movie, and of course the original. The third movie is just awful. The jokes are not funny at all. The story is just kind of nothing special. It's not very interesting at all. It's just kind of, it sucks. It's just not good. Um, like, I don't want a whole movie about Shrek not wanting to be the king and not wanting to be a dad. It's just like, ugh, not great. And the characters are just not the same or not usual elves, or just the new ones are terrible. So it's bad. Are we lagging here? I don't want to lag for like answering the questions. Alrighty, so alright, so actually, okay, I've not graduated from high school. I know I said I am turning 18. I actually started school a little late in terms of kindergarten. I started when I was 6 instead of 5. So this is actually my senior year. So I am not done with high school. I guess I could have specified that. But my plans for September, basically, I'm going into school. So yeah, that's just kind of the plan. Um, so after that, I think there's I don't want to go too much into it, but there's like some things that are being talked about, discussed, and I think I generally know what's gonna happen. But now it's just it's a little weird everything, so I'm not gonna say anything right now because uh, I don't know necessarily that what I think's going to happen is actually going to happen. So, uh, yeah, to be determined, I suppose. Um, but yeah, what is my favorite coast? I mean, so yeah, what is my favorite coaster soundtrack? Out of the ones I've heard, I mean, the problem is, man, it's kind of tough because like most of the coasters I've ridden that actually have soundtracks, the soundtrack was like very faint. The only exception is like Top Thrill Dragster that I can think of, and I think Wicked Twister you could hear it, which was pretty funny. My favorite, um, Riddler's Revenge. The Riddler's Revenge one is really good. But it's like so faint in the station. It's actually pretty sad. Um, I think if I had to pick out of the ones I've written, probably Riddler's Revenge. But if I actually had to pick the ones that I've actually heard, like actually good in the station, probably the one in Dragster Station. It's pretty hype. It gives a good vibe. So I like it. I like that one. And then out of I guess all the ones in general, Carnan's is really good. So also Taiga's is really good. I like Taiga's too. For some reason, Uramir's pretty good. There's a lot of good ones. I don't know that I have a favorite out of like the bunch like that I haven't heard, like actually been to the park and heard. Star Wars: The Phantom Menace is just as bad. Like, I don't see how you can really compare both movies, but The Phantom Menace, the acting's terrible. The dialogue's atrocious. It's just, yeah, it's bad. I don't think they're really comparable movies. Like, but I think there's more positives with that movie than Shrek the Third. Shrek the Third, there's not really much at all there. So, yeah. Ooh, we have another question. Um, is my school going to have in-person classes? So interestingly, because so I'm in California, um, our school was actually going to be one of the few in California that was going to have in-person classes. However, very quickly after they announced that, our governor gave the orders to, I guess he gave orders that all counties in the watch list, and my county is on that watch list, would be doing online school for the first 6 weeks, something like that. And so, no, we are not having in person classes, at least for the first 6 weeks of school. Even if they actually gave us the option to either go do it at home or at school, but for the first 6 weeks, we will um, have it online and it will look very different from when we did it earlier in the year, because earlier in the year it was just basically they weren't really prepared, so we just basically got assignments. There was like like the schedule was totally free. We could do stuff whenever. Heck, you could turn in like your as long as you turn in your work before basically I think the end of the semester or the end of the grading, I think you would get full credit for anything, even though if it was technically late past the due date, you would get full credit because they kind of figured that it was like gonna be kind of a mess. So that was an interesting experience. Now we're gonna actually have like a schedule like 9 to 2:30 where we actually have to have classes, which may or may not be the best thing, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Uh, yeah, Coaster Lover 2001 was at Kennywood yesterday. That's cool. All right, so I think if that is all you guys have to ask, I'll give you one last opportunity to ask or discuss anything. If not, at 4:05, I will end the stream. So if we get there and end it, I guess I'll say thank you all for watching. And yeah, this is pretty random. I was kind of wondering how it was gonna go. Pretty good. It looks like quite a few of you guys came on here, which is good. At least earlier. I guess later, maybe just the timing of it wasn't great, but I did kind of do this super randomly. So yeah, you're super excited for the book. So am I. I'm excited for it. Um, we'll see what I decide to do with it. It's kind of hard. Like I was thinking about it, a review or a live stream with it might be hard. I might just do one where it's like a Q&A for the book, something like that. Like it'll probably be informal, but like showing the pages and stuff, it's kind of I feel like it'd be a little difficult. Um, maybe I'll have like a written out review in a community post, something like that. But I'll do something with it. I just don't know exactly what, and I still haven't gotten it yet. So that's just kind of how it is. So yeah, alrighty. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time here on Coaster Hour. See you guys.